In today's lecture, we will be discussing about determination of vibrational modes of water molecule using group theory. We will be discussing about determination of vibration modes of water molecule using group theory. There are three main steps involved. They are first step is writing the reducible representation. Second step is reducing the reducible representation using the reduction formula. Third step is assigning the vibrational modes. The first step, writing the reducible representation. And first we are writing the structure of the molecule. Water has a V shape, angular shape, bent shape. You find the oxygen and two hydrogen atoms remain in the same plane. The point group of the water molecule is C2V. The symmetry operations for the point group are E C2 sigma V xz and sigma V yz. Well, now we will write the basis for the molecule. What is shown here is over each atom we have put three vectors. These three vectors represent the three coordinates x, y and z. So if you have three atoms, there will be 3 into 3 vectors, 9 vectors present. There is a reason for this. During vibration, the positions of the atoms will change, and when the positions of the atom changes, the coordinates will also change. The x, y and z coordinates will change. So the number of atoms in water is 3, and the total number of modes present is 3 into number of atoms, because in every atom there are 3 coordinates. In every atom there are 3 vectors, and so the total number of modes will be equal to 3 into number of atoms. In water molecule there are 3 atoms, and so 3 into 3, 9. Total number of modes will be 9. Next we are going to determine the character of reducible representation. It is determined by performing the 4 symmetry operations. The 4 symmetry operations are E, C2, sigma V xz and sigma V yz. These 4 operations are performed on this basis, and you have to find the number of unshifted atoms. Multiplying the number of unshifted atoms with the factor for the particular operation, we get the character of the reducible representation. Character of the reducible representation is equal to number of atoms unshifted into factor for the particular operation. We will first start with the operation E. E is identity operation. It is the action of doing nothing. So none of the atoms will change. All the 3 atoms will remain unshifted. So the number of atoms unshifted is equal to 3. The factor for the identity operation is 3. And there is a reason for writing the factor as 3, because for identity the transformation matrix is 1 0 0 0 1 0 and 0 0 1, and the sum of the diagonal elements will be 1 plus 1 plus 1 equal to 3, and that is how you get the factor as 3. The character of the reducible representation is equal to number of atoms unshifted into factor, and so 3 into 3, and it will be equal to 9. The next operation which we will consider is the symmetry operation C2. Let us look how C2 axis exists in water molecule. C2 axis passes through oxygen atom and it bisects the two OH bonds, and the C2 axis is present in the molecular plane, and during performing a C2 operation, we have to rotate the molecule through 180 degrees, and when you rotate the molecule, the atoms which are present in the axis itself will not get shifted. That means oxygen will not get shifted, whereas this hydrogen on the left hand side will come to the right, on the hydrogen on the right hand side will come to the left. So the number of unshifted atoms is equal to 1. Now we are going to look at the factor. The factor for the C2 operation is given as -1. Let us find out how we get this -1. C2 is the only axis present in this point group, and so that will be the principal axis. Principal axis by convention is along the Z axis. So if you write the transformation matrix for C2 operation, you will get Z will not get changed. So at the place of Z you will find 1, but X and Y will get changed, and so 1, -1 and -1. This is X, the first, this term is X, this term is Y, and this term is Z, and all the other things will remain as 0. So if you take the diagonal elements are -1, -1 and +1, and that will be equal to -1. That is how you get the factor as -1. Character of the reducible representation is equal to number of atoms unshifted into factor of the operation. Number of atoms unshifted is equal to 1, and the factor of operation is equal to -1. 1 into -1 will be -1. This is the character for the reducible representation for symmetry operation C2. Now we come to the next symmetry operation, sigma by xz. Xz is this molecular plane. Xz is the molecular plane, and so if we say sigma xz, we will have a plane like this. What do we mean by that? This plane cuts through all the atoms, each and every atom, the two hydrogen atoms as well as oxygen atom, cutting into two hemispheres. One half of the atom will be above the plane and one half of the atom will be below the plane. During reflection about sigma by xz, the lower half will become the upper half and upper half will become lower half for every atom. But there will not be any net shift in the position of the atom. The position of the atoms will be same. And so number of unshifted atoms will be 3 and the factor is 1. We will find out how we get the factor as 1. Since it is sigma by xz, whatever that is present in the plane will not change. That means x will not change and z will not change, whereas y will change. So this you will get it as -1. So the remaining elements are 0. The sum of the diagonal elements is the character, and so it will be 1 minus 1 plus 1, which is equal to 1. That is how you get the factor as 1. Now the character of the reducible representation will be equal to number of atoms unshifted into factor for the operation. Number of atoms unshifted is 3 and factor for the operation is 1. So 3 into 1 will be 3. That is what we will get. Then we come to the fourth operation, the last operation, sigma v yz. The sigma v yz will be like this. It will be passing through oxygen atom. It will be perpendicular to the molecular plane, and to the left of the plane you will find one hydrogen atom, and to the right of the plane you will find another hydrogen atom, and the oxygen atom is present in the plane itself. And during reflection, whatever atoms that are present in the plane will not get shifted, so oxygen atom will not get shifted, whereas this hydrogen atom will come from left to right, and this hydrogen atom will go from right to left, but the oxygen atom will not get shifted, and so the number of atoms unshifted is 1. As previously told, for reflection we will have the factor as 1. This is because in this case the transformation matrix will be, because it is YZ, for Y it will be 1, for Z it will be 1, but X will change to -1, the remaining elements will be 0, and if you take the sum of the diagonal elements, you will get -1 plus 1 plus 1, and so it will once again be plus 1. That is how you get the factor of operation as 1. Character of the reducible representation is equal to number of atoms unshifted into factor. Number of atoms unshifted is 1, factor is 1, and so the character will also be 1, character of reducible. Now we will sum up these 4 operations. For E the character is 9, for C2 the character is -1, for sigma V XZ the character is 3, and for sigma V YZ the character is 1. This is the reducible representation which we have, and these numbers are known as characters of reducible representation: 9, -1, 3 and 1. Now we have to reduce this reducible representation. For that, here we need the character table. This is the character table for C2V point group. Here you have 4 classes, and so 4 irreducible representations are present, namely A1, A2, B1, B2. The value of GP is the number of operations in each class. Here is 1E, 1C2, 1 sigma V XZ and 1 sigma V YZ, and so GP value is 1. And the chi-r values characters of reducible representation, namely 9, -1, 3 and 1. When you do the reduction using the reduction formula, number of times an irreducible representation is repeated. For example, A1 is repeated, or A2 is repeated, number of times B1 is repeated, number of times B2 is repeated. Chi-r will not change, 9, -1, 3, 1. GP will not change, 1, 1, 1, but value of chi-a will change. Chi-a is these numbers present in the character table, and for A1 this will be the chi-a, and you have to forget the remaining characters. Whereas for example for B1 this whatever numbers that are opposite to B1 will be the chi-a values, and you have to forget the remaining aspect. But chi-r is common for all the irreducible representations, and GP is also common for all the irreducible representation. So the total number of operations here is 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 equal to 4. That is what is given as H is equal to 4. The number of times an irreducible representation is repeated is 1 by H, GP summation GP chi-a chi-r. GP is the number of operations in a class. Chi-a is the character of irreducible representation, chi-r is the character of reducible representation, and H is the number of operations. Now we will do the calculations for number of times A1 is repeated, the first row. For this 1 by H, H is 4, and after that GP is 1, and the chi-a value is 1 and chi-r value is 9, and so you will get 1 into 1 into 9 as the first term. Second term, GP is 1, chi-a is once again 1, and chi-r is for C2 -1, and so 1 into 1 into -1. For the third term, GP is sigma V XZ term, GP is 1, chi-a is once again 1, and chi-r value for sigma V XZ is 3. Likewise, you get the number of times A1 is repeated as 3 times. That means you find 3A1. Similarly, you do for A2. You have to now take the characters opposite to A2 alone in this character table and leave the remaining characters chi. Chi-r and GP will be the same as the previous case, and you will get the result as 1. A2 is repeated 1 times. The next comes B1. For B1 we have to take the characters opposite to B1, and namely 1 minus 1, 1 minus 1. This will be the chi value. 1 1 1 1 will be the GP value, and chi-r value will be 9 minus 1, 3 1. H will be 4, and using this we will get number of times B1 is repeated 3. That means 3B1. Finally, we have the irreducible representation B2. For this, in the similar fashion, we will get it as 2. Number of times B2 is repeated is 2, and it will be 2B2. Putting all these things together, A1 repeats 3 times, and so you have written here it as 3A1. Then A2 is repeated 1 time, so we will write it here as A2. B1 is getting repeated 3 times, so we will write it as 3B1. B2 is getting repeated 2 times, so we will write it as 2B2. That is one way by which you can check whether what you have written is correct. If you look at the character table, the dimensions for A1, A2, B1, B2 will be 1, 1, 1 and 1. That means when you have the dimension 1, you multiply each of these numbers. For dimension of A1 is 1, dimension of A2 is 1, dimension of B1 is 1, and dimension of B2 is 1, and if you add this together, 3 plus 1, 4 plus 3, 7, 7 plus 3, 2, 9. We have already seen that the total number of modes is 3n, 3 into 3, where n is the number of atoms. In H2O molecule, the number of atoms is 3, 3 into 3 is 9. These two should tally. So what you get here by adding these things should be equal to the total number of modes. This is the way in which you can check the correctness of your calculation. Now we come to the character table of C2B. The most important things here are the letters which are written here. They represent many important things which we will see shortly. The total number of modes is 3A1 plus A2 plus 3B1 plus 2B2. When you say total number of modes, the total number of modes is equal to translational modes plus rotational modes plus vibrational modes. First you have to write the translation modes. Translation modes are given by the symbol x, y and z, the Cartesian terms in the character table. Wherever you find x, y, z, that corresponds to Cartesian coordinates. Here you will find z here, x here and y here, and opposite z you find A1. Opposite x you find B1. Opposite y you find B2. So the translation modes are A1, B1 and B2, but in order to find the vibration modes, you have to deduct or subtract the translational and rotational modes from the total number of modes. So we have to take these two terms, translation, rotation, to the other side, and so we will take it as negative, minus of A1, minus of B1 and minus of B2. Minus A1, minus B1, minus B2. It is shown in the diagram. X, Y, Z are marked in blue. Next we come to the rotational modes. When you come to rotation modes, look for the Rx, Ry and Rz in character table. They represent rotation modes. You find Rx here, opposite Rx you find B2, you find Ry here, opposite to Ry you find B1, you find Rz here, opposite Rz you find A2. So it will be A2 plus B1 plus B2, but these rotation modes have to be subtracted, and so minus A2 minus B1 minus B2. Now the vibration modes, you have to subtract them. 3A1 minus A1, 2A1, A2 minus A2, 0, 3B1 minus 2B1 is B1, 2B2 minus 2B2 is 0. So you will get it as 2A1 plus B1. This will be the vibration modes present in water molecule. Now we have to find out which of these vibration modes are IR active and which of these vibration modes are Raman active. For that, the IR active modes, we find the terms x, y, z, the Cartesian terms in the character table against these terms alone, 2A1 and B1, A1 and B1. Then it represents an IR active mode, and if it is Raman active, the quadratic terms like a square, y square, xy, xz, yz, etc. They have the power 2 terms, y x power 1 and z power 1. Sum of the powers is true. Now for first term here is A1, and for A1 you look what is present opposite, you find Z, and if you find Z, it represents an IR active mode. Apart from Z, you also find a square, y square, z square. They represent the quadratic terms which are Raman active in nature. So the A1 mode is IR active as well as Raman active. Next we have B1 symmetry here. Now you look at B1. Opposite B1 you find X. Because you find X, the mode is an IR active mode. After, against B1 you also find XZ. XZ is a Raman active mode. So A1 is IR active and Raman active, and B1 is IR active and Raman active. Actually you find 2A1 B1. This represents modes like symmetric stretching, anti-symmetric stretching, bending, etc. Thank you.